Came as a pedestrian struck. A pedestrian struck over here. See what they got going on. Right in the middle of the street, allegedly. Let's see what they have. Get mixed information. One said a car accident, one said a pedestrian struck. Got fire trucks, you got ambulance, you got a T-bus. Let's see what they have. Got a car on the sidewalk. Got a car over here. Got multiple cars involved. This shit, what we got going on here? Airbags deployed on this side. Person on the ground over there. This looks pretty serious. There's a person laying on the ground. I hope they're okay. So we got a car here that's on the sidewalk. I'm not too sure if this car's involved or not. We definitely got a car on the sidewalk. It might have hit that tree. Not too sure what it hit. He's gonna try to maneuver around on the other side. He might as well do it now while he can, because there's no traffic coming. Like I said, it came in as a motor vehicle accident. Then the second call was a pedestrian struck. So we're not too sure if it's a pedestrian struck or it's definitely a motor vehicle accident for sure. Maybe the person got out the car and laid on the ground. They thought the person was struck. This person can't drive. What are they stopping for? Just keep. Notice I find people can't drive a straight line. I was coming from Randolph, and I should have recorded it, but there's a construction zone. They're milling down the roadway, Randolph Ave. They got 2 lanes taken, but they swapped the 2 lanes over to the other side. They put cones down the middle. Now, we see cones down the middle. That means a divided lane, for the most part. There's one car that couldn't figure out like which way to go. He kept trying to cut between the cones. When you don't cut between the cones, you keep straight. The cones are the divider. So something like this, if you see an accident and you see an officer directing traffic around, so that means you move to the right. You don't move towards the traffic that he's directing. But unfortunately, common sense is not that common. So you shouldn't have to go to school to get common sense. But unfortunately, that's what we have. A lot of people just can't figure things out. He's up here. He's trying to, and they still can't figure it out. He needs a high visible vest on, but still, they still can't figure it out. Move to the right. Once that ambulance clears, then they can, look at this car. You got a car trying to squeeze around the ambulance. Look at this. Cannot make this up, guys. Look at that. You cannot make this up. You got one car that decided he wanted to squeeze between the ambulance, which is very dangerous because, you know, they're still working over there. I think the registry needs to have a recall on everybody's license. It's everybody, I don't care if you've been on the road for 25, 30, 50 years, everybody resubmit your license all over again. We got to do a thorough road test, make sure you know how to drive. We'll give you some basic questions. Well, give you some more advanced questions on rules of the road. See if you know how to drive, because they should just take everybody's license at this point. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Joe, how are you?
All right, good. I think the registry should just pull everybody's license. I don't care how long you're on the road, what status you have, just everybody just redo the license all over again. Just to make sure you know when to turn your headlights on, you know, all that good stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff that people are supposed to know. Usually if your windshield wipers are on, your headlights are supposed to be on. I mean, that's the rule of the road. Any inclement weather, your headlights are supposed to be on. Dusk to dawn, your headlights on. They always should say that. But some people don't know half the stuff on the road. Like it's bad. It's really bad. And the ones that I don't understand, how can you physically get a driver's license if you cannot read and understand English? How does that work? Tell me how in the world, if driving is a privilege and you're in the United States, look at this guy, he did the same thing. He went right between the ambulance. Like, the reason why you don't do that, because what if there's an EMT coming out the back of that ambulance and he's walking towards the driver's side? You could potentially hit him. And you're also supposed to be going, according to the move over law, you're supposed to only be passing them at 28 miles an hour. You should not be going that fast. So they're getting that person off the ground now. There's a person that just got off the ground. You're gonna put her in the back of the ambulance. I don't know if she was hit or not, but they just got her off the ground.
13, you have night. Can you log off, please?
Like I said, I don't know if that person, I don't know. They figure all that out. But she was laying on the ground.
Good morning.
It's very possible she got hit. Who knows? The traffic kind of died down now. It's not too bad. We may hang around for the tow. We'll see. I'm gonna try to cross once the traffic allows me to do so. She just walked away. What the heck? She literally just walked away from the EMS. I don't know. They really, they can't force her, but she just literally walked away. She's running in the street now. They might have to check her out. If she's in the middle of the street down there, so you know. I don't know if she ran out the ambulance. That truck almost hit her too. I don't know. I don't think she wants to be in the ambulance at this point. EMTs are not gonna. They're not going to chase someone down that don't want to be in the ambulance. I wouldn't chase no one down that don't want to be in the ambulance. Like I said, we're not too sure how this accident, or I can't call them accidents anymore, this crash happened. Somehow that car looks like a single. I gotta check and see if there's any damage on this car over here. So as soon as I get a chance, I'm gonna cross over. We'll take a look at both of these cars and see if there's any damage on the front car. And maybe that car hit the other car and caused a domino effect. We're not even sure. A lot of traffic coming up on Melenaa. We'll let them all come up now. They will cross when it's safe to do so. I guess they got her. They're going to put her back in the ambulance. They got it back in the ambulance, so let's see how that works out. We'll check this car over here. I don't think this car was involved, but we'll take a quick peek at it and see. Oh, it was involved, yeah. It definitely was. Wow. So this car got hit on this side here. Well, you can't see it. Let me put the light on it right quick. How are we gonna do this? If you can see that damage right there. And the airbags are deployed as well. So this car got hit on the side. Somehow this car got hit on the side. And I don't know how that can happen, to be honest with you. He ran that car off the road and pushed that car into the tree. But, well, that can happen if you're not paying attention. Look at this guy here going through the middle. So that's what you cause an accident when you start doing that. So they get cars coming from both different directions and I'm trying to figure who would be at fault. Would this car right here be at fault if he cut into that car's lane and ran him to the side of the tree? Yeah, interesting. If that's what happened, yes. Yeah, this is a solid line right here, just so you guys know. So if this is a solid line, you cannot switch in the solid lane. So he's automatically at fault. What's going on, man? You following me or I'm following you? Yeah, I try to get all the action if I can, you know.
You make it quicker than me.
I make my rounds, you know. So I'm gonna assess this right quick. I think I know who's at fault by looking at the damage. This car has damage on the passenger door, and it's enough impact that it blew the airbags. So if that car has damage on the side, its driver's side, that means that that car came into that car's lane and forced him into the tree. And it does have damage on that side. So
Okay. Sir. So you're reporting an accident like this? You grabbing the license plate?
That's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I'll tell you the public they don't want, and this is just me.
Uh-huh.
You can keep recording.
Right.
This is just me
Uh-huh.
as a person. I wouldn't like my information out like that. I wouldn't like my face out like that. So
But
you should probably
you know about the First Amendment, right?
100%. That's why I say you can keep recording. Now, as a person, I will tell you that probably he doesn't want his face on it. Probably he doesn't want his, face on it. It would be nice to ask. I understand your First Amendment, but it would be nice.
You're the first person that said that. You know how many dash cams are out here and street cameras are out here?
Yes, I understand that. But now we're stopped and we're having conversations where he is.
He's not telling you you cannot record.
Right.
He's not violating your right at all.
Right.
Where he is giving me his personal information. He's giving me his name, date of birth.
But I'm not doing that.
Yeah. The
But-
sound, I'm pretty sure you're recording
But
the sound, right?
no, I'm not recording that.
Yes.
I'm recording this over here, my man. So you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, man. You're doing too much. You gotta go back to the academy. You're doing way too much. I understand what he's talking about, but I'm not recording what he's talking about. I'm recording it over here. No, training goes a long way, and oh my goodness. let me leave that subject alone. Let me leave that alone, because I don't know. Anything in public you could record. I'm not aiming to record someone's date of birth and name and phone number and all that stuff. Usually when they do that, I walk away from them. I don't know if you see my videos. When the police officer is asking the person for their date of birth and their address and that stuff, I usually walk away and start doing a video. Like I do something like this, and I fade over there and come back. Like he wasn't even. I don't know. That's you see the video. The video's gonna speak for itself. Interesting though. These guys don't know the training that I have and understanding I have about the law. They think that they got a little training in the academy and they learned a whole heck of a lot, but they haven't. I mean, and even if I was doing that, it's not illegal to do it. It's if I use that information illegally. So I know how that works. I can stand. Matter of fact, if I want, I could walk up to them within 10 feet and record all that stuff. There's no expectation of privacy in public whatsoever. So I know how that works, but I don't push that limit. That's not my limit to push. I came down here matter of fact, I was looking at this car. Who's driving this car? You driving this car? And that car pushed you off the road, right?
Yeah.
So just so you know, right? The solid line, you cannot pass in a solid line.
I get it.
No, so any cars that's in that solid line, they have to stay in the solid line. They cannot switch lanes. Once you enter the solid line, you cannot switch.
Yeah.
That's the driving rules.
Yeah.
So say these cars are here, they have to stay in the lane till they meet the intersection and cross the intersection. They cannot cross back and forward.
Yeah.
Dash lines you can cross over, solid lines you cannot. So when you make your report, just state what lane you was in, so that way you know what lane you was in. From the looks of it, it looked like this car pushed you into the tree. Yeah. And I'm like, that's why he probably got mad because I was recording it, because it speaks for itself. No, I do a lot of different scenes, and I record a lot of different scenes. But the officer was making a stupid remark that I was trying to record his information, like date of birth. And all I was doing documenting the accident. But he was like, you can't record this. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, he started making stuff up on top of his head. And I didn't want to get into an argument with him, but he probably was heated because I was analyzing the accidit.
You work for the police?
No, I don't work for the police. I work independently. I wouldn't want to work for them guys if they don't know what they're doing. I mean, that wouldn't be it would make me look bad, you know what I mean?
So why do you do this?
I do this so people can see what goes on in their community and see what happens. Okay. And then a lot of my viewers that they do an accident readjustment, and they'll probably comment on it and say who was at fault too. Yeah. So I decided as a hobby. But just so you know, according to the rules of the road, you have to stay in your lane. You cannot switch in and out that lane. So if
was someone hit?
Well, that car looked like it hit this car.
Right.
Well, I don't know if that girl. I don't know where she was at. She was probably just laying on the ground. I don't think she got hit. At least I don't think so. There was a girl that they put in the ambulance, but she was laying on the ground over there. But I don't. If she did get hit, it would be by this car right here. But I don't know. Okay. I don't know the answer to that one. I do know they put her in the ambulance. Whether she got hit by the car or not, she was walking, talking, so she's fine. She's not. She actually walked away from him, so she couldn't be too injured. I don't. I mean, did you hit any? You see anybody get hit when you came up here?
No, I got pushed and
You got pushed over to the side.
in my tree.
So if you would have hit her, she would have been between that tree and the car.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, she might have just laying on the ground like the people over there lay on the ground all the time. So it's possible. We don't know. But just make sure you specify what lane you was in and specify there's a solid line going down the middle of the roadway, because that does make a big difference. And an officer that needs to go back to training, he'll figure it out. Like, I didn't want to push the limit with him because, you know, some guys just ignorant for no reason. He doesn't understand the First Amendment, because if you say you understand the First Amendment, you got to understand it entirely. Don't say you understand it. Don't say you understand the First Amendment and you don't understand the First Amendment, because the First Amendment is it's actually a constitutional right. That there's no law that can violate a constitutional right. And also that constitutional right is based off of time, place, and manner. Hey, what's up there? How you doing? Time, place, and manner. So it's the time you use it, the place you use it, and the manner you use it. I tend to use it time, place, and manner correctly all the time. Occasionally, I may not use the manner, depends on where I'm at, correctly. But no one knows that but me, or people that knows the manner. But time, place, and manner is very important. So, and also, you cannot turn a constitutional protected right into a crime. So it don't matter what you say and how you twist it, as long as I'm using it legally and lawfully, it cannot be turned into a crime. Now, I can see if, say for example, the tow truck came and the cable is between me and the tow truck, and I'm using my constitutional rights, and it's a safety factor because I'm between the tow truck and the cable. I mean, that's not using it properly, because now I'm endangering myself when I need to get out the way, and I'm also impeding the tow truck driver from doing his job. So stuff like that, you know, you got to know your boundaries. You don't step in front of a vehicle that's being towed. You know, you don't try to put your arm inside the vehicle and stuff like that. You know, all kind of crazy stuff. You don't do that kind of stuff. But if you're just visually looking around and seeing what you see, there's no crime in that. And for that guy, the officer, to even create a narrative like that, it means he's instigating a narrative. You cannot, the officer himself cannot instigate the narrative. It has to be a victim that has to make that kind of statement. An officer, they're supposed to be the peacemakers. They're supposed to be made neutral in the whole situation. So if anything, he should have walked the gentleman. If he thought I was going to get this information, he should have walked the gentleman to a closer area away from me, which I wasn't, by no means, I could even hear anything what they were saying. And you guys can check the footage. You tell me if you can hear him saying his date of birth, his social security number, and all that kind of stuff. You won't hear that, because I couldn't hear it from here. That's why you document stuff, because this is a document showing what took place. So he can say what he want to say, I can say what I want to say, but this is going to speak for itself. And so when he said that, I was right here. This is where I was. I was staring at this piece of the car right here. And I went like this, and I said, yep, he pushed this car over. And I proceeded to walk this way. Now, mind you, they're 15 to 20 feet to my left. And when I get to about right here, that's when he says, oh, you can't record his information. He doesn't want his information to record it. You should ask him first. And I said, well, what about all the dash cams that you see? The buses with cameras on them. You know, street lights, there's so many different things with cameras out there now. People with GoPros that ride on their bikes and their helmets. There's so much different technology that records different things. You got the Teslas that record. You got the, what's those cars that record? Those smart cars, those autonomous cars that record. There's so many different other cars. The Google cars, the MapQuest map car. There's so many cars out there that record now. It's not even funny. I can't even think of all the names of them. There's so many of them out there. But all those cars, nobody's asking those cars to stop and pull over and not record those cars. Then you got the Google Street View that does their thing too. So I don't know. And that's why he doesn't understand the First Amendment, because if he did, he would never even open that for a conversation. Like I said, I'm not an auditor. I don't do auditing. Even though I could do auditing, but I chose not to do auditing. Auditing is just it's too one track minded. Because auditing, all you're doing is you're going to a public place that's public accessible, and you're staying in the publicly accessible areas. Now, what most of the auditors will do, they aim the camera at something or do something to attract attention, so the person can say something to you and tell you that you can't do it. So what they're doing, they're trying to get you to tell you that you cannot do it, which you shouldn't have to get someone to tell you. You just let them tell you. If you're just going in to record, just go in there and record. Don't stop and try to entice them to like call the police on you. You could do what you want to do, but I wouldn't do that. If I went to a public building, and I've done it many times, and someone tells you can't record, I always tell them this is not that video. I'm not doing that video that they want me to do. I'm not listening to that, because I'm doing something totally different. I'm showing people what's inside the building, what's around the building. Now, if they want to engage in a conversation, we can have a conversation, but it is what it is. Like I said, I told that gentleman, if you are in that solid line, and just so you see where the solid line is at, it starts over here. It starts like almost 50 feet behind where the accident took place. So this is where the solid line starts, right here. Now, all what the dashes are, you can switch lanes all you want. You can switch lanes back and forth down there all you want. But once you pass this little threshold right here, whatever lane you're in, you got to stay in that lane. Now, that's like an invisible barrier you cannot cross. So if you get up here and you decide you want to switch to the right, and there's a car in your right lane, and you happen to hit that car and push that car into a tree, then guess what? You are 100% at fault. And vice versa, if that car tries to go into your lane and pushes you to oncoming traffic, that car would be at fault. So that's just how the rules of the road go. I didn't make those rules up. Those rules are made up by the I think it's made up by the Registered Motor Vehicles and the DOT. Actually, is it made up by the RMV? Who makes up those rules? I guess the RMV makes up those rules. DOT probably enforces it or expands on it. And highway safety reiterates deeper into it. It's just a good question. Who sets those standards? Because the registered motor vehicles fall on the higher standard. So they're following the standard of across the United States. So it's probably a state highway rule, basically. I'll find out. It's hiding. It might follow under NTSB. I don't know. That'll be my project to look up tonight when I get home, because I don't know whose guidelines those are, but those guidelines are across, I believe, all 50 states. So it's not like the registry makes it up for one state. It's through all the states. It could be a federal regulation, but on a state level. I'm pretty sure Mark Means is going to leave some comments in the bottom. Mark, look it up tonight and then leave some comments, my man. Like I said, we'll hang around for the tow. Just so you know, you don't need anyone's permission to record in public. If you have a right, it's like saying you have a right to breathe air. You don't have to ask anyone's permission to breathe air if you have a right to breathe air. I mean, it doesn't make sense to ask questions. I mean, it could be a courtesy that you can utilize if you would like, but there's no that I know of. Nothing I could think of that would even come remotely close to asking people questions to record in public. Like when Fox 25 comes out here, they do a courtesy. They won't put a person's picture on the news because they ask not to be on the news. But I mean, and also they're a big media outlet, so they have more standards they gotta follow. But if a person walks by with a camera and put them on YouTube, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. I mean, as long as you're not slandering the person's name and you say something that's not true. You mean, now slander is something different. If you say something that's not true, I mean, you could be liable for that. But I don't know. Interesting though. And that,
a motor vehicle accident with injury. Lincoln Street and Newman Street, Boston. Engine 10, Tower Ladder 3, a motor vehicle accident.
Another accident with injuries. That's downtown Boston, Lincoln and Newman Street. Hey, we're gonna hang around for this tow truck. We've been out here for like 32 minutes, so we'll see how long it takes the tow truck to respond. And when people say they know about the First Amendment, they always think the First Amendment is just freedom of speech and freedom of the press. It's more to just the freedom of the speech and freedom of the press. You got the right to protest. You got the right to re-grieve your government. You know, you also got the right to religion of your choice. So those are the elements of the First Amendment. It's not just speech and press part of it. It's the religious part of it. I mean, like I said, we're hanging around for the tow trucks. Now, based off what I'm seeing, looks like that car in the front pushed this car into that tree, because he got damage on that side of his driver's side, where it looks like it's significant enough damage to force him off the road and push him into that tree right there. Now, this is this is gonna be the tough part. The tough part is when you go to your insurance company and you explain to them how you got into the condition that you were in. I mean, anybody that looks at the two cars are gonna probably be able to figure it out. This is not a hard accident. This is not an accident where it got spun around and facing different directions. This looked like it was not a high speed, but a medium speed. Probably doing about 35, maybe 40. It got pushed off to the side of the tree, and that's the result of it. Now, if it was a little bit faster, you know, this car had a lot more damage. Probably be wrapped around the tree, embedded into the tree anyway. Person might have more injuries than what they came out with. They came out with pretty much no injuries. Like I said, we're gonna try to hang around for this I guess both cars are gonna get towed. If it looks like. Got a cruiser. We're heading over to New Market Square. There's always stuff happening over there. Never know. And I watch a lot of auditors when they do their videos, and people use that same thing as you can't record people's personal information. Now, the polite thing is not to do it. Like, you don't want your information recorded and broadcast over YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. But it's not a law saying you can't do it. Now, the other part of it is if someone else happens to capture that information and utilize it, they're the ones that's getting in trouble for it, not you. Because the only people that, like me knowing someone's social security number, like I know people's social security number, doesn't make a difference. Now, it's what I do with that social security number which makes it legal or unlawful. Now, if I just use it for, okay, lawful reasons to put it into a database and, you know, whatever the case may be, that's fine. But now if I take it and use it to order me some new credit cards in my name or their name and assume their identity, that's on me now. Now I'm doing the criminal thing now because I'm utilizing it for bad purposes. But if I work as, say for example, and this is very true, I worked in I'm not going to say where, I worked for a place, it was like data processing. So we took people's information that was on paper, we put it in the computer. I seen social security numbers, I seen date of births, addresses. All I did was enter that information into the computer. I seen it, I wasn't trying to write it down, remember it. I had access to it, put it in the computer. Do that all day, just data entry, put it in the computer. Now, if I was to go up there and take pictures of that and try to sell it to other people, and now that's the illegal part of it, you know what I mean? Now that's when the breach of trust comes in. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's how you apply yourself and what you do with it. You know, I don't know if you guys remember the days when we did data entry, but whenever you fill an application for like a we'll use the example like Time Magazine, if a subscription for Time Magazine, that information was put into a computer, so now it's on a drive rather than on paper. Same thing if you put an application for like work. Somebody takes that information and put it into the computer. It doesn't get into the computer by itself. Somebody's physically entering that stuff in there. If you're not doing it, somebody else is. Did that cruiser have his rear lights on? Like, I don't know. He just got some lights on. But it looked like those cars can't. Let me see what they see. No, you see some blue lights, yeah. Yeah, he does have rear lights on. So why did they drive so close to the car before they switch over? It is well lit. It's not flashing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be flashing. Flashing usually gets your attention better, but I see a lot of these cars, they're driving so close to the cruiser, then they decide they want to switch over, which makes it weird. All right, guys, I'm gonna hang around for this a little bit, and tow trucks must be tied up. All right, we'll put on pause, and we'll get back to you when the tow truck comes up. We got a Kiki here. Not too sure if he's doing this tow here or not, but he might have to turn around and Sure, Kiki's here. Twice in a row, Kiki to the rescue. Tow trucks are probably busy because they got so many cars that are involved in crashes. It's like, it's kind of hard to keep track of all of them. If you get 4 or 5 accidents in the city, in the same area, you know, they got to utilize like only 3 or 4 companies, so they got to really cycle them over pretty quick. That's a pretty hard hit though. That's about 40, 45 maybe.
Yeah, I need Charlie units logging on or sticking around. I got a domestic outside of 44 West Main.
I find more and more tow truck drivers are using the larger J hooks. I think they work. They're kind of universal. They work on pretty much every car you can find. I mean, as long as you can find a spot to hook them hooks on, you're good to go.
Charlie base. Bravo Gold 1 Alpha Ocean Aura. Can you take us off at BMC? We're leaving the first half unit, please. Got it.
Victor 947 Charlie PS. You got 3 units logging on in a second.
Copy, man. Charlie 425. 425.
That's why they have the move over law, because see how he has to lay on the ground to get under that?
Copy.
If that truck wasn't parked at an angle the way it is, he could potentially get hit by a car coming by.
There's a Foxhole unit coming on 850 Mass Ave in front of the gas station. 53-year-old male was sprayed in the eye.
Your J hook came off.
He said he was trying to buy something and the car sprayed.
One of them came off anyway. Might as well pull it all the way up like that and then adjust it when you get up on the bed. Like it keeps popping off. You got to take that J hook and do it from the. It's kind of hard to do it when it's low to the ground, but the best way to do that J hook is over the top, not under. You gotta, if you do it over the top, the weight of it will keep it on there. sometimes it's hard to do that because you don't have a lot of space under the vehicle to do that. It's like Always Open just came up here.
For a 53-year-old male who was trying to buy something at the store and they sprayed him with mace. He'll be out front of that location. 8-5. Oh, here. Alright, thanks, Yvonne. That's here the goal one. Yes, sir. Okay.
What he could do, if the car is in park, he can lift the wheels up and get the hook under there that way. He's got his already up in the air, so he's all good to go.
Latest mileage 8307.3.
2357.
It would have been easier just to pull it from the back. Probably, if you're gonna have that much trouble from the front, you could just pull it from the back. Probably made it a lot easier. Get up there now. Oh, he's open. He's all set. He's got it up. He's ready to go. Got a little bit of dirt on the back, but that's all good. Probably get a broom and sweep it off later on.
Yes, madam. I have multiple national grids on B2 and B3. If anyone is interested, 681 1145
I think that's about it, guys. We got it up on the bed.
Anyone interested in your multiple national grid detail on B2 and B3, 945 to finish. Call 9681 00.
10-4. That's pretty much it. The other thing he could have did, I think the hardest part was getting the J-hook because of the way the wheels was, getting the J-hook on the frame. But I think if you get it behind that wheel on the axle, you could probably pull it on that side too.
For the Bravo units, EMS is on for the party that was struck in the head with the bottle, 568 Blue Hill.
Alright guys, I just want to show you a little activity, nothing major. A Kiki over here, you know, always open over there. Guess we'll catch you guys on the next one. What's going on, my man?
There's a Harry Rapid coming on to room a group of squatters, 1 Carson Street, apartment 2.
Alright guys, anything else comes up, we'll get back to you. Get you guys on the next one.